What's cracking with you people? This is Evis Wolf and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Dead Space. In the last one, we cleared out the air infection in the West Grow Chamber. This time around, we're heading to the East Grow Chamber to do the same. Let's go. Now, it's really interesting that they have the poison gadgeners be the actual people. And this text log might actually tell us who the people working here, people who we just killed, might have been. Might have. It's interesting because these test logs are detail essentially what happens before. Alright. I've done this long enough before. First gonna dodge you as much as we can. As long as you don't stand still, it should be fine. And we're gonna kill that thing first because that is an insta-kill. I'm not joking, that thing on the wall is an insta-kill. And you want to kill all the tentacles first chance you get, because that's the only way you can really deal with it. There is a gun in the game that will insta kill this thing, because it acts like. Because what it does is it acts like the explosive barrels. Just to make certain. It acts like the explosive barrels you will throw at it and blow up and destroy all of the tentacles in one go. And I believe we actually already have the weapon. It's called the Force Gun. Gonna go ahead and put one in there and come back to that. But the Force Gun has an alternate fire where it essentially is a gigantic grenade launcher. We got another workbench, so we'll come back to that. After we're done exploring here. Oh, hello. What are you doing in there? Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not scared of the Necromorphs anymore. However, I will most certainly say that due to what we went through in the last couple episodes with the Regenerator, at this point, only the jump scares are going to affect me. You know, only the jump scares and I think 2 other enemies in the game are really going to scare me in terms of, oh my goodness, it's coming right at me. And that would be the Brute, obviously, for reasons I shouldn't have to explain. And, ooh, large medpack. And, one enemy we haven't seen yet. Trust me, as you have seen, it will always get worse. Anyway, since we have the extra power nodes, I believe that's the only power node door here. We're going to start off with, we're going to put one in here. That way we can just kind of jump off from there, and then we're going to go up to our rig and put one into here. Now we have extra health to work with. So now that we got those out the way, the next thing we're going to prioritize is the plasma cutter. We'll probably dump one extra one into here for the rig, but the plasma cutter is probably going to be our main point of focus since we have 4, count them, 4 upgrades, actually 5 upgrades that we can get without having, take that back, make that 6 upgrades that we can get without having to waste power nodes. So we're just going to deal with capacity and damage and then reload speed, and that's what we're going to focus on, and sporadically dump 1 or 2 into stasis and rig as we get them. So that as you see our spine there, we have 6 segments of health. And 6 segments of health as opposed to... Actually, no, I think we've always had 6. I think they just hold more now. I'm about to say, I'm looking at that like, wait, we already had 6, didn't we? Yeah, we already had 6. It just holds a lot more. But as you can see, the terraformer agent is really terraforming. Like in the East Grove site, it's gotten really bad, really bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I guess I must have already used it then. All right then.
Anomalies detected in the East Grove chamber.
You're not kidding.
Hazardous anomaly detected. Quarantine activated.
Oh, great. Because I know exactly what that is. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Now here's the one thing about the brutes. Admittedly, it's my only legitimate criticism about the enemy design in this game, and that's that they only ever throw one brute at a time at you. Yep, that got me. And I mean, they only ever throw one brute at a time at you. In Dead Space, in the first Dead Space, they have these big honking enemies, and they only ever throw one of them at you at a time, which leads me to believe that the idea behind it, ooh, a power node, thanks, is that the brutes are fiercely territorial. I mean, because let's really think about this here. In any other game, and it's a survival horror game, I understand they don't want to overload you too much, but at the same time they really want the big enemies to scare you as often as possible. And given how tank controlly they are tank controls, and given how Isaac controls as a character, I'm not surprised that they don't want to throw too much at you. But I think to heighten the anxiety levels, it would have helped to throw maybe not 2 brutes at you all at once. I think that I think for this point in the game that would be a little bit much. But to throw a brute, maybe a pregnant, and some of the basic level ones at you, just to keep you on your toes. Stop you. Yeah, man, you've seen much better days. But yeah, they don't ever throw that many at you. I mean, look at that thing. Even now that we had our extra health point, even on hard mode, I think it only hit us for 2 points of damage. I will admit I did press X, and I think I might have... No, I didn't use any, actually. But yeah, that's my theory. Like, that's what I think they're going for, is that the brutes are so territorial that... Okay, that was a little bit much. Is that the brutes are so territorial that even other necromorphs will stay as far away from them as possible. I mean, because think about it. Why else, especially in a time and age where having a reason, having a storyline reason for why it is your characters behave a certain way, why it is your enemies are a certain way, and why it is and why it is your environments are a certain way is so important. It's because
Replacing nutrient pad.
that thing just has to be territorial. I mean, look at it. Also, this is probably the one breather. I forget. I don't actually remember what the actual name of these things are called. This is the one that this is like the only one you're going to have to shoot. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only one you're going to have to shoot, because it's just in a place where you can't hit it manually. Let's go to the top floor first. Since the top floor and the last one held some goodies, this one I think should do the same. Unless you have to go that way. Actually, yeah, you do have to do this way. Okay. It means he's probably hanging out right there. But yeah, that's just my take on it. I don't think they ever give an actual elaboration for it, but just given how big that thing is, how armored that thing is. I mean, the only other explanation is that every necromorph in the area merges onto that thing to make the thick armor plating and everything else, you know? That's the only other thing I can think of, and that would just be a little too much, in my opinion, in terms of, like... I mean, we already have the walls, which are terraforming everything. That much I can buy, you know, and we've seen before that the walls will lock onto people and drag them into it. That's how we get those insta-kills over there, but... I think just if you just have them terraform and form up to make one giant enemy, it'd be a bit too much. What do you have to say, audio log?
Hydroponics log, Dr. Cross reporting. Something huge just slammed into the hull near food storage. It wasn't a rogue asteroid. I know what that sounds like. But it was big and heavy. I'll report again when I know more.
That had nothing to do with what I was talking about. Nothing at all. You are useless, audio log. Useless! Okay, there's another power node here. Looks like we're going to make another stop by the workbench on the way out. Which is fine by me. I mean, really, that's fine by me. Oh. Okay, I'm going to grab that real quick. Here we go again. Okay, guys, you know the song and dance. You gotta shoot the yellow stuff. I don't think it gets more health so much as it's just harder to shoot. And as you can tell, I'm doing a horrible job. I'm probably gonna die here. Yep, I'm dead. I is dead. Okay, not gonna lie, I think I died about 3 times after that first one. That was not fun. Now the way that thing is supposed to is set up, and the reason why I remembered that this was gonna happen, is that they put that gold semiconductor right there in front of your face, and then when you're going to grab it, the thing just comes out of nowhere and grips you. So, yeah, that's how I knew about it. But man, I do not want to deal with that again. An audio log here.
This is Temple, acting chief engineer. I came down here to find Dr. Elizabeth Cross, but she's not here. In fact, I can't find anyone, just more of this organic shit everywhere. I'm going to check the mining deck. It's about the only place I haven't looked yet.
It's really interesting because I think you're pretty much led to believe that this Jacob Temple and his Elizabeth Ross are either lovers or very good friends.
Entering zero gravity.
And I believe one of the movies. Oh wow, this thing really terraformed. I believe one of the movies actually went into a little bit more detail about it, because I do know one of the animated movies. Because there's an animated movie, there's not a live action one. Okay, we're going to deal with that. How this is working? We're going to do that right there. No, okay, so we got to do this right here. Run. Jump. But I think one of the animated movies actually details this whole adventure. Because one of the movies is a direct setup, it's a direct prequel to the second game. It stars I forget what the actual voice actor do, but some of the characters in it play a role. And the thing is that it's one of the few times that I think an animated prequel, and one of these days I'll do a rant video about video game movies and how video game movies and film adaptations should be handled. In my opinion, I'll do that one day. But well, I say how they should be handled. More of how I think they should be handled, and the traps that people usually fall into, and how it affects video game adaptations into movies in the long run, which I'll hopefully get to one of these days when I have a free moment. There you are. But in one of the movies,
That's the last one, Isaac. There's a switch to atmospheric control to restart the oxygen recycling. Once the air's clean, you can get into food storage. As we got in the reports, we all began having mass hallucinations. And, well, I just saw my brother on a security monitor.
okay, I am getting shot to heck and back right now. Okay, where the heck are you? Because I'm just gonna do that right there. Because that's just a little bit much. That's just too much. Okay. Give me one sec, guys. Okay, sorry about that. A bit of an emergency I had to take care of real quick. Yeah, where was I again? Oh yeah, I was talking about how I was talking about how I think video game movies should be handled. Okay, I am messing up hardcore here. Okay, so we have. Oh yeah, let me turn that off. I completely forgot about that. I'm gonna go through here, but yeah, in the movie there's some characters. There's I think a grand total of 4, and most of them spoil. Well, I'm not gonna spoil how it happens, but essentially one of them is offered a position by the individuals who essentially represent Unitology, the religion that this world universally accepts. They decline it, and then they are framed for sabotaging the Ishimura, because they said that what happened to Ishimura wasn't what we see inside this game. It's actually a terrorist attack. Now they don't go too deep into it in Dead Space 2. They make a passing mention to it. A passing mention, which pretty much, and the way it's handled is that you can see it as a corporate cover-up or whatever, but you essentially don't have to watch the movie to understand why they're doing that or what's going on. You can just draw your own conclusion. If you see the movie, raises some more questions, but is nothing too detrimental to the story as a whole. And that's more what I'm, and I have to go into that at some point. But essentially what I'm saying, like to make it as simple as I can, it's better to have a video game movie be a standalone, or a video game adaptation be a standalone, and not do too much crazy, than to actually. Excuse me, guys. I'm in the middle of a rant here, and I'm on a roll. You're distracting me. but it's better to have it be its own standalone thing, or maybe a straight up interpretation of events. Okay. I don't need to use one of my large buckets because I am messing up here like nobody's business. But yeah, it either should be its own straight up standalone thing, or a direct interpretation on events with a kind of a twist on it. And I will go into more in detail here, but that's not what this Let's Play is about. I just wanted to bring it up just so you guys know that in one of the movies, I think they elaborate more on the story of Temple and Elizabeth Ross. If not that movie, it's not that animated movie, because I think there's 3, and the animated movie that I'm talking about doesn't have anything to do with the one in which doesn't have anything to do with the one in which they do the corporate setup thing. Well, they do something. I forget what it is, but yeah, it was a kind of one of those conspiracy theory cover-ups. And that's right, we're going to focus on our plasma cutter. That's what it was. We're going to get our capacity and our damage. There we go. Been putting it off a little bit too long. Next things we're going to get are reload, speed, reload again, and then capacity. But it is either in one of the movies or is in the on-rail shooter.
Isaac, where are you? Help me.
Well, I would, but you don't tell me where you are. But yeah, I'm gonna stop by the store here real quick, drop off some things. But yeah, one of the movies. Just know that one of the movies, or at least one of the game, at least the other game, goes into a little bit more detail about the story of Jacob Ross and his and Elizabeth and Jacob Temple and Elizabeth Ross. That's what I think. I mean, it would make sense if you ask me, because this is one of those little sub stories. And if I am completely off base, I completely apologize. That's my bad on my part. Like I said, this is one of the few games that, while I do enjoy it, I haven't bothered to keep up with the story of it, because I find the story to be a little too disjointed, and I just haven't had interest in keeping up with the series. That's just me personally. If I see a passing mention of it, I will take a look. Movies are easy to look at, but that's just me. At any rate, now that we've eliminated the source of the air pollution in both the West Grove Chamber and the East Grove Chamber, we can now activate the air recycle system and hopefully get into food stores to straight up kill the source. Next time, I've been Devious Wolf, and I'll catch you later.